this parasha we are going to read Parashat Yitro, and the most important part of Parashat Yitro, of course, is Aseret Devarim, the Ten Commandments. So I would like to talk about that subject, and specifically on is it 10 commandments, is it more Aseret Devarim or Aseret Deberot, and also I'm going to delve more about a specific mitzvah, and that is Lo Tahmod, and it's contrasting it with Lo Titaveh. By the way, this Dvar Torah is dedicated in the blessed memory of my mother, Mi Va'ateret Roshi Garaz Bat Leah, that her Yom Askara Yar Zayit Shela is the 25th of Shvat, next Thursday, a week from today. So the first thing is the issue of the Ten Commandments. If according to Sefer HaChanuch, which is one of the Rishonim, it is written in the 10th century. If we count the mitzvot that are included in the Ten Commandments, we count really 14, not only 10 commandments. Of course, we have the 10 that we know. However, in the second commandment, that Lo yeh lecha elokim acharim al panai, it says also Lo ta'aseh lecha pesel, do not make a statue, and do not bow to them, and do not worship them in a way that they are worshipped. And so this is, we have additional 3. Also Shabbat, the fourth commandment, it is, we know that it is in Parashat Yitro, the Torah says Zachor. In Va'et Hanan, in Deuteronomy, it says Shamor, which means Zachor means remember, and we do know Zochreu Adayain, that we to do the Kiddush, and also count all the days from the Shabbat, which means that in Hebrew we say Yom Rishon, Rishon LaShabbat, Sheni LaShabbat, Shishi LaShabbat, and so on and so forth. We always mention Shabbat. Shamor means that we cannot desecrate it, we cannot do Halul Shabbat. So we have here 14 commandments according to Sefer HaChanuch, irrefutable. So why do we call it 10 commandments? More than likely, the simplest thing is that the 4 commandments that they are associated with Lo yeh lecha elokim acharim al panai, do not have other gods, are related to one subject. And also, so it is one subject, and also the Zachor veShamor are also related to the Anyan of Shabbat. And incidentally, in the Hebrew language, davar means first talking or talk, and it means also object. Kaniti kama dvarim, I bought few things, or dibarnu al kama dvarim, and on few subjects. Here, the dvarim means subject, that we have here 10 subjects, and those are of paramount importance because many commentaries, the most famous one of them in this point is Rabbi Saadia Gaon, he correlated all the 613 commandments that we have in the Torah in the 10 commandments, in Aseret Deberot. So now why do we call it Aseret Deberot? I'm really not sure. I believe it is misnomer, because in the Torah itself it mentioned it's called Aseret Devarim. We see that in Parashat Kitissa when Moshe went to heavens after the fiasco of the golden calf, and he said that he stayed there 40 days of that, and then Hashem gave him Luchot HaBerit, Aseret Devarim, and this is also repeated, the same word, Aseret Devarim, in Parashat Aikev. It also says when he was describing the same incident also. So the Aseret Devarim is more proper. I don't know how Aseret Devirot came about, but this is this is what it is. No big deal. In any event, so we can say here that although it is 10 subject, 10 issues, that has 14 mitzvah. Now, we do know also that like the Meshorer, like the poet who did Lecha Dodi, Rabbi Shlomo Al-Kabetz, he said that Shamor ve'Zachor b'dibur echad, or Zachor Shamor b'dibur echad, first I think of Perashat Yitro, at least in chronologic, this is it was described in the Torah first, that both of them are together. So now, when we do know that the Aseret Debarim or Aseret Debarot are written in two places, in Perashat Yitro and in Perashat Va'etchanan, and there are minor differences between them. Of course, these are not minor; they are important, and the rabbis do have explanation for them. And but they are together. They are they mean something. So in Perashat Yitro, the 10 commandment, the last one, it says Lo tahmod eshet raecha, that do not covet your friend's wife and his house and his property in general. In Debarim it says Lo ta'amod eshet raecha, lo ta've beit raecha ve'abdeo v'shedeh v'hamaro v'chol asher l'raecha. So here, what's the difference between Lo tahmod and Lo ta've? In English, it is translated Lo tahmod means don't covet. Covet means that somebody has strong desire for something that is wrongful, that is without regard to the rightful owner of that. Most of the time. So this is the meaning of coveting. There is also in Dotit Avet, means do not have desire. The desire. If somebody desires something strongly, also it is a sin. Of course, for something that is forbidden to us. So really, what is the difference? And according to Harambam, to Maimonides, these are totally two separate negative commandments that we cannot do. But however, they are related into each other. How so? There are few differences between the commentator and that. However, the bottom line is that Lo tahmod means do not covet means. It includes that taking action to obtain something unlawfully. Like for example, if I have a property and my next door neighbor does have also property, that if I obtain it, somehow my property will become a lot more valuable. And he did not want to sell it for one reason or the other, and so I pressed him to sell it. Of course, if I didn't pay for that at all, there is no question it is big haram. But even if he did sell it, even if I paid him really top dollar for that, but he did not want to give it willingly, it is somebody will be aware, will transgress the mitzvah of Lo tahmod. However, Lo tit'aveh, it's only by thought. So, which means that I thought that his lamb, that his property will be mine. His wife will be mine. His intelligence even will be mine. This is called tit'aveh, desire, and it is also forbidden. So the difference between both of them is that Lo tahmod means that it includes action. The desire does not have to include the action. So now, there are few questions. We do know that in the Gemara it says that if for righteous people, if somebody does have good thought and he to do mitzvah, to do some good deed, but unfortunately he was not successful, or he got busy, or he just couldn't do it, Hashem will consider that thought misarefa lemase, that he will consider like if he did it. So how, and also we have also on the other hand, that if somebody wanted to do something bad and he couldn't do it for some reason, he wanted to go to eat seafood in a place and then he got busy, he went somewhere else, he couldn't do it, and then the restaurant closed. So here that they say that Hashem does not consider that sin because it's only mahshabat, and they rely on that from the Talim. That if there is something wrong in my head, Hashem does not listen to it, he does not consider it Avon. So now here, if somebody does have ta'ava, this is pure thought. How come it is considered Avon? And it is because that usually, on many times, it will lead to hamda, to coveting, and that will lead to avon. And not only avon, it can lead to many avonot. We do know very well the story of the king of Israel, Ahab, when he had a vineyard that was adjacent to a vineyard owned by Naboth Israeli, and he wanted it so much. And one time he came home, he asked him to give it to him. He won't. He said, I mean, I don't want to give it to you. This is inheritance from the days of Yehoshua, and it is in the family. And he came, he was sad, and Isabel, his wife, asked him why the king seemed sad. He told her that I wanted that vineyard, I could not get it, he won't sell it to me. She told him, don't worry about that at all, consider it done. So what did she do? She arranged for people to say, to have false witness that he is conspiring against the king. And then, because of that, he was put to death, and Ahab took his vineyard. So here, the ta'ava led to Hamda. He wanted to do it, and then that caused transgression on the 9th commandment, which is Lo ta'ani v'rachai shaker, and on the 6th commandment, which is Lo tersa'ah. And this is how the famous story that we came to him and he told him, Rakta, probably he said, Ratzata v'gam yarashta, and it was the starting of the downfall of Ahab. So here also there is another point where Mahashava for sure is Avon, is if somebody was thinking about to worship Avodah Zarah, also this is a sin. So here, the ta'ava, the desire for something that doesn't belong to the person, is a sin by itself. Even if it did not translate to action. So now, there are few issues. Point is, if somebody can be envious of the Torah of somebody, this particular aspect it is. And even if he didn't, like somebody who is very learned, he is very diligent in studying Torah, if we can do the same thing, of course we can. And not only that even if we attempted and we are not successful, here Hashem, like if we did it, if we put very, very sincere effort. On the other hand, suppose somebody has very beautiful etrog, somebody has beautiful tefillin, somebody has beautiful sephirah. If we can desire that, if we can ta'ava, the answer is no. Even though it is dvar mitzvah, we cannot do that. Anything that belongs to somebody, we cannot have desire for that. So now, maybe somebody will think that this is going to put a lid on the progress of people, because people want to progress and they want to make more money, they want to be successful. So is that against the Torah? The answer is absolutely no. So everyone has a right to say that I want to improve myself, to have better house, but to have better respect in the community. But he should not say that I want to be I want to have a house like that one, like so and so, or I like to have as much account in the bank like so and so, or as nice of a car like so and so. He can think about improving himself, of course with the help of God, and to progress and do more without comparing himself to the others. So now, to put every piece together is that we understood now the difference between coveting and desire. Coveting does to be avon. It should include action. However, the desire ta'ava does not need to include action for somebody to make avera. This is number one. Now we talked also about the issue of the tziruf, if somebody good thought and bad thought. For the righteous people, Hashem will consider good thought as ma'aseh, like if they did it. And if for them also, if somebody did not bad thought that was not translated to ma'aseh, Hashem also will not consider it as avon. And we also talked about that the desire in the wrong way can be why it is considered avon by itself, that it can lead a lot of times to some other avonot that can be very, very serious. So I hope that is good. I hope that we will have that we will be in the camp that Hashem will consider all our thoughts that like we did good deeds, and all our bad thoughts that Hashem will disregard them and won't consider them as avon. Shabbat Shalom.